Just a quick video. So, welcome to ShellyMarie the journey. I done an intro video and I primarily spoke about the fact that I wanted to start documenting my chronic fatigue syndrome journey and talk a little bit about how I've kind of coped with the episodes that have happened in the past, any triggers, how I try to help my recovery, and also just thinking about things that I can try moving forward and see whether they help my recovery period or help to not have an episode in the first place. And didn't necessarily talk about the other two kind of streams of what I want to focus on, but the chronic fatigue syndrome is kind of central to everything because it's such a big part of my life and what I'm able to do and not able to do, but obviously it isn't my whole life. So but it impacts on pretty much, most things. So I did put in my description box, but I didn't really speak about it much. The fact that I just want to focus on health and well-being and lifestyle. So in terms of my chronic fatigue syndrome, it has an impact, obviously, or my health and well-being has an impact on my chronic fatigue syndrome. So it kind of goes part and parcel. And then also in terms of lifestyle, because there's certain things that I'm not able to do. There's certain things that I think I spoke about in my first video that I want to do, but physically I'm not able to do a lot of the time. And it's not all the time. Sometimes I'm absolutely fine. I can go and do social things and, have quite a balanced lifestyle. And then there are times when it is just not possible. So I personally find that the lifestyle, chronic fatigue syndrome, health and well-being go hand in hand, but some of the content might not be obvious at it fitting into the chronic fatigue syndrome. And whilst it may have an impact at some level, I might not necessarily be speaking about that particular aspect of my life in relation to the chronic fatigue syndrome. So just so that makes sense, because I don't want people to assume that every single video that I post is literally just going to be about my chronic fatigue syndrome. And like I said, yes, it's a massive part of my life, and I want to be a lot more conscious of what I'm doing and trying to really pick up on any triggers and anything that I do that I think has an impact on, like I said, my recovery or triggering it in the first place. So that will be a major part of the content, but I am really keen to also do some stuff on lifestyle, and I am very, very keen to do stuff on health and well-being. And like it says in my description box, I am not a health professional. I have no health qualifications. I am literally just talking about things from my own perspective and my own health and what I've found over the years. So I just want to make that really clear. I am not expecting people to take on what I say and implement it in their own lives if they haven't already sought medical professional advice, or, it's not something they've done before, or it's quite borderline, because there's some things that are quite commonplace that medical professionals will recommend, and it's quite, commonly used and commonly practiced or whatever, and it's not kind of taboo and cutting edge and, question marks or whatever, but then there might be some stuff that actually people are still a bit wary of. So for example, one of the things that I implement, not every single day, but quite a lot, is intermittent fasting. And something else that I also started to utilize almost 2 years ago now is WW, which is the new Weight Watchers program. So they have had their own positive impacts in my health and well-being and my journey. So I don't know yet if it's totally tied into the chronic fatigue, but given that one of the professionals that my GP referred me to right from the beginning, given that one of the professionals was a nutritionist, I think the food aspect is quite a big part, or definitely a part of how we can manage our chronic fatigue, and how basically how our bodies I don't know how to put it, but for me, I find that there's certain things that I can eat and I feel very tired. Like, you know, when you speak about having a siesta after you eat quite heavy and stodgy and heavy foods, that's real. I think most of us can agree that that is real. You go to lunch and you have a salad, you know, you're pretty much raring to go when lunchtime's finished. You go to lunch and have like burger, chips, hot wings and stodgy foods, and you kind of like, right, I want to go and pitch up somewhere and have a nap. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's kind of like, cool, we understand that to be the case for most people. So food is a big part of my journey, and it's not only because of the health benefits and the how it can affect the body, but also because I have just always been craven. For anybody that doesn't know what craven means, I believe it's a West Indian term, and it basically means someone that's just like eats way too much. Sorry, I'm getting over the flu. I did actually do a video. But your girl is having issues editing the video. I have been trying. I even got to a point where I was like, I need to walk away from this, get my mind right, and then try and tackle it again. And I was just trying to tackle it again, and I made some progress, but it hasn't really turned out exactly how I would like it to. And it's not that I'm trying to make it fancy. Because I was driving, I had like 3 separate times that I recorded. So I wanted to kind of merge it and whatever. Video that I had recorded whilst I was getting over the flu and talking about the fact that I didn't find that it impacted my chronic fatigue this time round. I will still try and post it because I think there's little nuggets in there. It's not anything extensive, but there's little nuggets. So once it's edited properly, I will post it anyway. And so what I want to do is focus in a little bit on lifestyle, health and well-being, as well as the chronic fatigue syndrome. I do want to focus in a little bit on food. That is the area that I'm currently kind of trying to be very mindful of. And what I took away from last year Easter, when I gave up several things for Lent, quite a lot of things, I actually really felt the benefits. I really reaped the benefits of giving up certain food groups over the period of Lent. And so I've decided to do that again. So I will be giving up a number of foods. When I do that video, I will list the items I gave up last year, and I will give a little bit of an overview of how I felt it improved my health and well-being. And then I will obviously list the things I'm going to be giving up this year, or if I'm going to take on and do certain things. So I'm going to do a video about that. Lent starts on the 26th of February, I believe. I believe that's Ash Wednesday. So that's when I will be starting that journey. But yeah, I just wanted to give a bit of a kind of like a part 2 to the intro, if you like, a little bit of a, yes, we are focusing on chronic fatigue syndrome. Yes, that is a big part of what I want to be documenting and a massive part of my journey, but also it's very much me generally, you know, lifestyle generally, and health and well-being generally. And obviously there'll be interchangeable elements of all 3. There'll be some things that directly impact the chronic fatigue. There'll be some things that I'm doing in terms of my lifestyle that impacts it. So I just think it all kind of interweaves But sometimes when I do a video, I might just talk about something that's lifestyle or something that's just health and well-being, and not necessarily talk about how it feeds into the chronic fatigue. So yeah, that is going to be it for now. Please, can I ask that you share with anybody else who you're aware of that may have chronic fatigue syndrome, that may have ME, or who may be suffering from burnout, and you think it may be useful for them to start thinking about some of these things. Please like the video. I'm trying to really get to grips with this. As I said in the first video, I didn't really anticipate being in front of the camera, but life happens and I've just decided that, you know what, I'm going to do this. So it's very encouraging having the likes and knowing that people are kind of getting behind the content, and even just the fact of someone else speaking about chronic fatigue syndrome and kind of exploring it a bit. So please, if you can, share. Please also like. I have had some comments in the previous videos, which has been absolutely incredible. So please, please, please continue to put your comments down below, and subscribe. Please do subscribe. And if you are interested in, you know, being notified of when the next videos are posted, then please do also activate your notification bell. Anyway, I need to go because one of my lifestyle things is to get to bed earlier, get to work earlier, and not, you know, pace myself and not burn myself out. So I'm going to sign off, but I just want to say thank you so much. The support so far has been amazing, and I just really am excited about what's to come. So please do continue to tune in, and I will speak to you guys soon. Bye.